So let us kick off with the Times, Josh, and that picture of David Hockney, but that's probably not the most alarming news.
I don't know. Nuclear war, Crocs. I mean,
Crocs on a grown man.
They're both the end of civilization, arguably. So
he looks like Toe-to-Toe Hall, doesn't he?
Maybe he's just thinking, if I'm about to be fried anyway, I may as well, I may as well transgress the last few. He's done most of them.
But he's got all that beautiful effort. He's got a lovely little cane there. He's got a lovely suit and scarf and everything.
He has gone very synthetic, though. I actually went to an exhibition of his about 3 or 4 years ago, maybe longer. I don't know, Times Fly Royal Academy, and it was all done on iPad. He'd created loads of images using sort of iPad and stuff.
Yes.
I was a bit disappointed, to be honest. That's a nice way for kids to, create some art when you haven't got access to materials.
When you're 4, yes.
Yeah.
But mind you, he's very, very old, isn't he? So
maybe he finds it easier these days.
Paintbrushes are heavy.
Yes. Anyway, let's get on with the Cold War.
Let's do the nuclear war stuff. So Putin signals the return of Cold War nuclear tests. This is a slightly strange thing. So there's a thing called START, the Nuclear Arms Treaty. Yes. He's saying he's going to suspend Russia's participation in it.
Yes.
But he's not going to withdraw from it. So it's hard to understand. Essentially,
moratorium.
Yeah, exactly. But really already they're meant to be examining each other's nuclear stockpiles and whatnot. That hasn't happened since 2020 because of COVID.
And that's what START was. Was it included?
It was part of
inspection?
it. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, OK.
So they haven't done that. But the other thing is that he's basically saying if America does any nuclear testing, then Russia's going to do some nuclear testing.
Yeah, OK.
So it's sort of a threat, but also not. I think he just wants to bring up nuclear weapons like, hey, guys, just a reminder, whilst you're giving all these weapons over, we have nuclear. He
also has, of course, got a bit of other rhetoric as well. But go ahead, Roger.
Well, this just seems to me like, as sabre rattling goes, it's fairly lame, isn't it? Because we all know what he's got. The moratoriums, the treaty's been in disuse for some years, as you've already said, and he's threatening to suspend rather than fully withdraw from it. So actually, maybe this is an indication of his relative weakness.
Yes, most of the rhetoric, I don't know if we might be coming onto it later, I think, mightn't we? But most of the rhetoric seems to be more sort of a cultural and motivational sort of nature. And
very much so.
Who's to blame and so on. Did you have anything to say about the digital IDs?
Yeah, give digital IDs to all for a tech revolution, urge Blair and Haig. This is former Prime Minister and former ex-leader of the opposition. Basically trying to remain relevant or trying to do stuff in their sort of retirement.
It was always Blair's thing, though, wasn't it, digital ID?
Yeah.
I'm a little bit more surprised to see William Hague.
I think it's to give a cross-party element to it. But look, arguably they have a point or they're not there. But one of the things they're talking about, these digital IDs that's going to basically incorporate passports, driving licenses, tax records, qualifications, the right to work. It's an interesting debate because we sort of talked about this yesterday with how there's not this sort of cross-syncing of data that could be very helpful in a lot of ways. On the other side, you have more conspiratory-minded people who would argue this is the movement towards control by our governments and whatnot.
There's a very strong libertarian argument against what are essentially identity cards, but at the same time, of course, if you have any concern for illegal immigration, it's the inevitable tool that you have to use in order to restrict and monitor and control the labour market.
I think it might have been Bill Clinton was saying this, or it might have been Barack Obama or somebody, I can't remember, but the reality is it's kind of already there in many important regards anyway with the commercial organisations. They have so much. Your banks have so much data. Amazon have so much data.
And we voluntarily and delightedly carry our phones with us.
Yeah.
Every conversation we talk about, suddenly an advert appears.
Yes, exactly. Alexa's, you're interested in a little holiday in Greece, are you? Yes, pop on your next Google.
And it's a price we're evidently prepared to pay for the convenience and delight of the things we carry with us all the time.
Absolutely. But this report actually is wider in scope than that. There's 40 suggestions towards helping. And we are behind in many countries. And a lot of this stuff in terms of like planning, permission for labs and things like that, how we raise money for science. These things
we are going to have to decide, do we want to be more like Singapore or do we want to be more like the Wild West? Because we're kind of getting the worst of both worlds at the moment, aren't we, to a large extent?
It's a debate that's going on, definitely. And it is a decision we will have to make.